Mohammed's up. Mohammed said, hey guys, I'm having a persistent problem with my video emails. For a lot of emails, someone clicks the link and I phone them a few minutes later and tell them I'm having problems with my email and I make sure they received it. Okay. Then they say they opened it, but they didn't have time to watch it. So I wait, but nothing happens. I tried sending a follow-up email the next day, but that doesn't amount to much usually. How can I keep up the dialogue? Do I just call again the next day? Yeah, you can, Mohammed. It sounds like you're being pretty aggressive, and that's how you do it. There's really nothing else I can say about it. For a lot of the industries that I've worked in, I've always had a really good response. Not all. I mean, it's not everybody opens the emails, clicks, but the vast majority do. Especially when you use and Mohammed, I know you asked a similar question in the mastermind, and I replied to you about using a GIF. And at the time, you said when this was last week, I think you said you had not been using GIFs; you were just using still images. So I would recommend that you try that. Let's see. They say they opened it. Then they say that they opened it, but they didn't have time to watch it. Okay. Yeah. So if, that's all you can do is if they're opening the emails, but they're not clicking, is if you try to make that, that's why I said a GIF works better than a still image, because it will entice them to click. And remember, a lot of the times these people are busy. That's part of the reason why I like the video email system better than cold calling, right? Because if you send them a video email, if they open it, but they're not able to because it's not convenient for them to watch, a 5 or 10 minute video at the time, it's there for them to watch at a later date. It may be that you have to remind them that it's there by sending it to them again in a couple of days, right? So if you follow up with a phone call after they've opened the email or whatever, and they say, oh, well, I didn't have time to watch it, ask them, would you mind if I followed up with you in a couple of days? And then the very next day, send it to them again. You know what I mean? Like the point is you've got the dialogue going there, especially if you got them on the phone and they said that they haven't had time to watch it. Well, you've still had a chance to at least get the dialogue going. And if you're persistent, it may work. You're going to piss some people off, there's no doubt. But some people are going to be mad no matter what you do, right? So what you're trying to do is avoid those people, and that you want to qualify people. And if you call somebody and, don't chase people too much is what I'm saying, guys, because that reeks of desperation. So my point is, if you call them and they say, well, I didn't have time to watch it, and ask them, would you mind if I followed up with you in a couple days? I think it's important. You're going to get a lot out of this. I'm not trying to pitch you on anything. I wanted to offer you some value, provide you some insight about your digital presence. Check it out when you have time. I'll follow up with you in a couple days. Don't even ask them. Just tell them I'll follow up with you in a couple days. Then the following day, send it to them again. And if they don't open or they don't click and you have to call them again and they say, I still didn't have time, cut them off of your list, man. Just delete them from your contact list, because they're obviously going to be somebody that's going to be a pain in the ass to work with, because they can't even take 5 minutes to try to listen to something that you're. And again, guys, remember, you got to step into their shoes for just a moment. Think about how many times people get pitched offers all the time. I mean, if you're a business owner, you probably get pitched often too. And so it's only natural for them to put up their defenses. But if you're coming at them with trying to provide genuine value, which is what I recommend, what is your intent, right? If you come with pure intentions, then, don't chase them too much, because there's plenty of other people out there that will actually appreciate that, right? So that's my point is, don't chase people too much. Yes, definitely follow up. You don't want to give up on the first try, because some people need a little nudging. But after a couple of attempts, if, and again, with you coming at them like, hey, I just wanted to send you some information about how you can improve your digital presence. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just looking for a conversation. Can you check out the video? It's under, say it's 6 minutes long or whatever it may be. If they're too damn busy to watch a 6-minute video after 2 or 3 attempts, guys, then cut them off your list and move on. Don't waste any more time. Okay. That's why, by the way, I mentioned, guys, keep those videos really short, because you don't want to spend a shit ton of time. I've made the mistake of making 15 and 20-minute videos that never get watched, right? And you spend all this time analyzing and creating reports and all this stuff for people that aren't ever even going to reply to you or respond, right? And so, again, that's why I tell you to keep them short. Try to just provide value very, very quickly up front. Ask for a contact back. Say, look, I'm not trying to say, I just want to have a conversation. See if we may be a good fit for each other. I always like to use that. Right? I always like to use that. I want to see if we may be, because I don't want them to think I'm chasing them. I just want to have a conversation to find out if we may be a good fit for each other. Right?
Real quick too, Bradley, you touched on this, but I put this into the mastermind newsletter. I think it goes in December maybe. But the contact points, you definitely do want to follow up. I know a lot of people do this, but if you're not following up, automate this if you can, because obviously you don't want to waste your time on people who aren't going to respond. But most people will just contact once, and then if you don't follow up, your odds of getting responses is really low. And hitting them 2 or 3 times and getting that out there is going to dramatically raise your response rate.
Yep. Yeah, and if you got a VA, I mean, that's something you can do. Like when you're doing this kind of a method, guys, because it's so targeted, you could, it could be manual. You can automate some of that stuff, using autoresponders and all that. But if you're just getting started, you could just do it manually, and then even a VA could do it, right? Just like have a VA go check replies and messages and stuff like that. And if somebody hasn't replied, after 2 or 3 days, you send them another email, a follow-up email, right? And it could be like canned text that you send out, like templated emails. So you don't even have to do it yourself, Mohammed. Right?